favorite, two of my favorite poets. One, is that working?
Yes.
Okay.
Point towards you a little bit more.
One is my son, and the other is a lady in her 80s right now. When my son was about 11 or 12, he decided he was a poet. And for about a year, he wrote poetry. And then he discovered girls and soccer, and the poetry bit the dust. But he left us with this great accumulation of poetry. And we pull it out every once in a while. We have family gatherings, and we read some of Wes's poetry. And just laugh and laugh and laugh. Some of it was serious. He wrote one about 9/11. He wrote one about the boyfriend of my sister who died just before they were going to get married. And then he wrote some really light, trivial, whimsical poetry. And this is what that is. The Life of a Fly. Hello, my name is Bob the Fly. I know you must be wondering why I cry as though there's something wrong. It's 'cause my life is one day long. One day to live, oh yes, it's true. I'm sad to say I envy you. I have one day to have some fun, and that is that. What's done is done. I can't imagine what I'll do today to have some fun, do you? My mother's funeral is a place I could go. I think she died 2 minutes ago. But that could be so awfully sad to see her buried with my dad. I know that she would want me to go someplace else. That's what I'll do. Oh, suddenly I'm all forlorn. Look how long it's been since I've been born. You see, I've got just a minute or two. I spent just too long talking to you. I guess I'll never have some fun, for I'll be dead in 3, 2, 1. He was so much fun back then. He still is, but in a different way. Okay, the second one, those of you that know Christy know that she lost one of her best friends this summer. Her best friend at the time was a 15-year-old pit bull named Precious. And Precious lived to be 15, probably shouldn't have lived to be 15, but she had Christy. Christy was her caretaker. And during her last year, Precious lost all desire to do about everything, including eating. And Christy would get in her bed with Precious, with her spoon and her food, and spoon feed Precious, small bite by small bite. And she lived a lot longer than anybody thought she was going to. Precious was a bait dog, and she was a pit bull that was used as bait for the fighters because she wouldn't fight back. And she had scars all over her body to prove it. But when Precious came into our lives, I had that kind of common attitude toward pit bulls. Yeah, they're probably pretty good, but you got to watch them because they'll grab you and start shaking, and that'll be it. And Precious was responsible for changing my attitude about a terrific breed. So she died this summer, and I read this just before she died, and I thought of it, and I'm going to really try hard. Somebody needs to scowl at me or something, and so I, just give me a breath so I can stay with it on this, okay? This is by Mary Oliver. She's in her 80s. She's a neat lady and a great poet. The first time Precious came back. The first time Precious came back, she was not sailing on a cloud. She was loping through the yard as though she had come a great way. Precious, I cried out, and I reached to her, that golden fur. But she was unreachable, as music is present, yet you can't touch it. Yes, it's all different, she said. You're going to be very surprised. But I wasn't thinking of that. I only wanted to hold her. Listen, she said. I miss that too. And now you'll be telling stories of my coming back, and they won't be false, and they won't be true, but they'll be real. And then, as she used to, she said, let's go. And we walked down the street together. Understood where I was coming from on that is I mentioned that Precious lost all her desires to do about everything, except when Chrissy got the leash and said it's time to go for a walk. And then she became a puppy for about 20 minutes with all that energy running down the street. And so that's why I picked that.